The domination of the Grayscales and the White Knights so far has been unprecedented. 17 points clear are those two, but the two golds of the Grayscales is the difference maker coming into Event 4. They lead the way, the home team, by 10 points over the White Knights. They're going to be what the crowd will be watching those two in particular to see how this title race heats up as you look to the swing wave. It's been in 2 seasons, seasons 3 and 4, with 0 repeat podiums. So this is really an event where anyone's up for debate, but 70 overall total by the Marauders is the best 2-round score, while 38 by the Green Peacocks is the best single-round score. So we'll see if anyone can try and match that as the rounds to try and... But that's the kind of score you want to be aiming for. As the pre-show show us how it's done, they'll get 2 rounds each, 1 in each lane.
So in this swing wave, these marbles stay single file, so no overtaking between teammates, and you want to really avoid the contact here. I think that really nullified the Cherry Blossom score on the near side, that contact between number 2 and 3. Bump those 2 marbles back to the 5 zone, and they will get a loss here, 27 points to 32 for the Polar Bears. You want to be consistent, so you really want to keep an equal gap between all 4 of your marbles, and it'll be 2 rounds where the marbles swap over the lanes, and the cumulative score will get you the win by the end of it.
Yeah, so this is not Olympic rules. You've got to do good across both the rounds and not just have one fantastic round. And Cherry Blossom's there, wonderful score. 3 in the 8 and 1 in the 10. And you can try and sink that green block to get 12. That is what you really want to try and go for, but it is risky. Missing it equals in a 1, and that really tanks your total. And there you see Cherry Blossoms actually did manage to pull ahead with 61 over the Polar Bears 59, as you see the run order in groups A through to H. Rosemary's and Grayscales will go first. Mixed fortunes for the Rosemarys, but Grayscales, of course, fantastic start so far. And Cheeseballs and Sunrise will finish us off. And here we see them lined up. You see they line up to the side. Standard lineup for both these competitors as they line up to start the swing wave, and off they go.
Rosemary's team to get the better push out of the gate, but it's not about that in the swing wave. The Grayscales will sink it 1 on the 12, and good gaps between their marbles means that they're going to get a very consistent and very solid score in this first round. You can see the Grayscales just doing enough between all of those intervals between the marbles to not make that contact, and a 37, that's a great first round score, almost beating the best first round score we've ever seen, and they will commandingly beat the Rosemarys in the first round. But of course they're going to have to continue that fine form into the second round, but they're off in the far side. Rosemarys will lose one very early, and the Grayscales will have one tumbling into the 1 there. Not a good run here for the Grayscales. Rosemarys, even on the near side, they could have also done a bit more, making that contact. Oh, you can see it was a bit of an accordion effect, bumping one of those marbles all the way back there, but still high marbles for the other 3, and they're going to get a 33 in this second round.
And the Rosemarys, 63 overall. They actually beat the Grayscales, so that 1 was detrimental in the end. They will be in second place currently, but 63 and 62 are very good cumulative scores as Team Mayhem and Citrus Sprinters come up next. Both of them lose one very early. Citrus Sprinters topple one into the orange, but Team Mayhem lost one particularly early. I think it was all the way back in the 3 or the 4. Yeah, the 3 for Team Mayhem's back runner. That is particularly poor contact to slow them down, but they did not topple one into the 1 like the Citrus Sprinters did. Compared to the first round, Group B here not looking anywhere near as solid, and 29 and 24, both sub 30, so not particularly great. They have to try and recover it now in the second round, see what they can do in round 2 here for Group B.
Of course, Team Mayhem, the only team other than the Grayscales to capture a gold medal in the A-League so far. Citrus Sprinters will once again push one into the 1. I think they're really trying to push for that 12, perhaps trying to recover some of that from the first round. It's not to be for the Citrus Sprinters. They're going to get another mediocre score at best here. And Team Mayhem, they did manage to keep one to the 10, maybe perhaps trying to play it safe this time and get one into the 10 and not go for the 12. But still, for Team Mayhem, it's not very consistent. 1 in the 4, 1 in the 6. So despite getting the win here in the group, it's not going to be very good overall. Now, Blue Brigade and Crystal Pistols in the third group, and off they go. Blue Brigade are very bunched up, and they will pay the price for it, but they do have 1 in the 10 and 1 in the 9, and so do the Crystal Pistols. That's 19 apiece for those 2 marbles from both teams. And who's it going to be? It's very close between these 2 teams in this first round.
That's 6 and 7 difference maker. It's going to be a 1-point win for the Blue Brigade, 30 to 29. That marble 2 getting a 7 over a 6. It's very good. Good opening scores of both teams. They'll need a mid-30 score to try and beat those top 2 teams so far, which is manageable. Blue Brigade lose a couple very early though, and dump one into the 1. The Blue Brigade will absolutely not be challenging for the top spots with that. Crystal Pistols also get one into the 1. They were hiding behind the waves, we couldn't see them, but both dumping into the 1 means they're not going to challenge for those top 2 spots. They'll be comfortably mid-pack, especially the Crystal Pistols, after Blue Brigade had a shambolic run there. All the way back in 6th was their highest finishing marble, and a 17 only, and 47 overall, puts them in 6 out of 6 so far. Crystal Pistols going to 4th, but I don't know how high those are going to be by the end of the event, as Croissant Crew and Marauders line up next. Of course, Marauders were the winners of this in Season 4. Can they repeat and try and bump themselves up into the standings?
Ooh, Marauders doing such a good job of keeping it consistent, but they do lose it a bit towards the end, and the Croissant Crew will sink one into the 12. That's going to give them some big points here. 1 in the 5 the first for the Croissant Crew, so this is not going to be a record-breaking run. Still a good one, though. They had 1 in the 9, so do the Marauders. They'll get outpaced here by the Croissant Crew. 33, very solid for the Croissant Crew. We'll see if they can maintain it in the near side. Marauders have a lot of catching up to do, and dare I say, already eliminated from contention from gold in this event again. But off they go here for the second run. Marauders trying to keep it consistent again. They're doing a really good job of that opening push, but really can't sustain it in the latter half as they do sink one into the 1, and Croissant Crew also all over the place here. That early contact sinks one into the 4, and actually despite that they'd managed to recover nicely with an 8, a 9, and a 10, and that is good enough for first place. 64 total. That will eclipse the Rosemary's from the first round. The Croissant Crew actually looking very good after the first half. They lead the way ahead of the Rosemary's Grayscales, sitting station in 3rd place. Team Mayhem Crystal Pistols in 4th and 5th. But still, half the event to go. A lot of time for this to change.
Honeycombs and Lagoon Platoon kick off the second half of proceedings here, and it's pretty quick. They didn't have any early drop-offs, but they both go for the 12 and they both miss. That will tank both of their scores. But no early drop-offs will help their scores a little bit. I would consider 5 or lower an early drop-off. And now you see the Honeycombs. Oh, they were much closer than Lagoon Platoon were. They were going a bit too fast in the bottom lane where Lagoon Platoon. 24-22, you can see how detrimental getting that 1 is and how much more difficult it seems to be to get the 12 this time around compared to previous seasons as they line up again. Honeycombs now on the near lane. Keep it a bit slow. They slow down a bit carefully. That was such a good... They get one on the 12 as Lagoon Platoon dump 1 into the 1 again. And 5-2-8. That's not going to be great by Lagoon Platoon, but the Honeycombs have made a great salvation run here. And they will save their performance a little bit. But look at how close they were to peeling off of the block. 56, it's good enough for 4th place. Good stuff by the Honeycombs there. But Lagoon Platoon salve it in 10th place out of 10. Not good at all for Lagoon Platoon.
Now, on to the final few runs of the day. Popsicles and Crazy Chickens here. Crazy Chickens. Let's see what they can do on the near side here. Looking very bunched up. Popsicles looking much better though. And they will save 1 of the 12 and a 9 and 2 8. This is looking like a fantastic run for the Popsicles. Crazy Chickens, I thought, had the better formation slightly out of the game. But actually, look at how spread apart the Popsicles are. Doing a great job of avoiding any of that contact early on and sinking one perfectly in the 12. That is going to be a 37. We saw the Grayscales make up that mark in the first heat. Didn't manage to sustain it in the second heat though. So we'll see if the Popsicles can do it here. They have a great chance at getting into the lead here. Do the Popsicles. We'll see if Crazy Chickens can salvage something here. Oh, Popsicles will have 1 into the 1. So do the Crazy Chickens. Popsicles have 2 in the 8, but they also had 1 early loss there into the 5. So I'm not sure if this will be enough to take the lead from the Croissant Crew. A very inconsistent second run after a great first one. Crazy Chickens, I also think, haven't done enough to surpass anyone in the medals. And no, they slot into 4th and 5th. Do the Popsicles and Crazy Chickens with 59 and 57 respectively.
Yeah, those first run for each team was fantastic, but the second run left a lot to be desired as White Knights and the Party Crashers line up next. White Knights, of course, have had a great start to the season. They did try and catch the Grayscales as best they can, but they've dumped 1 into the orange as Party Crashers get a 12 and several inconsistent runs with 1 back in the 5. That's still a very good score for the winner of this event back in Season 3, of course. The White Knights 5-6. They do get 1 into the 10, but it almost looked like he pushed his teammate onto the 12, and that pushes it down to a 22 for the White Knights. Party Crashers, though, 34. Big chance if they get a 30 or above, they will equal or better the Croissant Crew. So they're to watch out for here as the White Knights are just to try and salvage their run to get a good performance, and off they go. It's a good run by the White Knights in terms of formation. They get 3 in the 8, but both of them dump 1 into the 1. Everyone 8 or higher. If any of those had landed on the 12, they would have surely contended for a topper spot, especially the Party Crashers. But oh, that is so unfortunate for both teams. White Knights down in 13th out of 14. Party Crashers up in 4th. That challenge on the Grayscale, especially Grayscales, are still provisionally in 3rd place, so White Knights are going to be falling behind here as Cheeseballs and Sunrise line up for the final runs of the day.
This also means Croissant Crew guaranteed a podium here, but will it be a gold here? Team Sunrise do get 1 in the 10. No one even goes for the 12 here, trying to play it safe, but a lot of marbles towards the back here. 2 of the Team Sunrise in 6 or lower. 1 of the cheese balls stuck there in the 5 and 1 of them in the 7. So it's a not terrible run by either team, but nothing too special. 29 apiece. In fact, both are tied after the first round. It's going to take a miraculous run for either team to challenge the podium finishers right now. But will either of them do it? These 2 yellow teams, Team Sunrise and Cheese Balls, for the final run of the day. Team Sunrise will go for the 12. It is not to be, though. They will sink it in the 1. That's going to be a very poor result for Team Sunrise. 2 in the 5. And the Cheese Balls do better here, but it's not going to challenge the Croissant Crew for a gold medal here in the swing wave.
Croissant Crew will, in fact, win the gold with Rosemary's and Grayscales rounding out the podium. Cheese Balls jump up into 6th place, a good result for the Solid Yellow team, and Team Sunrise all the way down in 13th. And there you see the order. And look how close it was at the top. Just 4 points separating the top 4 finishers, while Popsicles and Cheese Balls were also right there. A 12 would have changed the game for any of those competitors to get a 1, but it is a wonderfully earned gold medal by the Croissant Crew. Kept it clean, played it safe, and got the 12 when it was needed. Congratulations to the Croissant Crew for their first gold medal in Tour de Endurance for a very, very long time. Due to the Grayscales' continued success and the White Knights struggling, they're now 24 points clear at the top of the table. White Knights have been closed upon by Croissant Crew and Rosemary. They vault up 5 and 6 spots respectively, now right up into the battle for 2nd place. But Grayscales in a league of their own at the moment as the home team. We look back to the B League for the next video, which will be the Event 2, the block bumping.